are back with episode 20 of IcoPod. I am Bob Collier Jr. and joining me, as always, is Austin Skinner.
And I'm Bob Collier Jr. and you're listening to IcoPod. How you doing today, Austin?
That's not... Kind of mixed up again.
Oh.
You were doing real good with these, and then now you've just...
Listen, I'm cracking under the pressure.
All right.
All right?
This is a pretty big moment, episode 20.
I can't live up to it.
We're out of our teens.
I can't live up to it. You know what, though? I was thinking the other day, so I'm driving in the car. Mm-hmm. All right? And I'm going to get on a little tangent here for you.
Well, I had one last week, so it's okay.
Right. So it's my turn. This one won't be 10 minutes, though.
Okay.
You'll probably laugh at it, and we'll move on.
Okay.
So I'm driving in the car. And, of course, by now, everybody knows I am moving to Orlando, Florida. I know, Bob. I know.
I'm not crying.
Oh, okay. I know, Bob. It's okay.
That wasn't me.
All right.
Is there somebody by my window?
So, yes, everybody knows that by now. So I'm driving in my car, and I'm thinking, you know what would be a great Halloween costume? Mind you, it is the middle of May as we're recording this. But I'm thinking, you know what would be a great Halloween costume for me and Bob? Guess what I thought?
No idea.
Picture this, right?
Yeah.
You're Ted DiBiase.
Well, yeah.
And I'm IRS. That would be fucking perfect. You just need a little wig, a little suit, get the little outfit.
I have the $1 million belt.
That would have been awesome.
The cheap one. But I have it.
Think of that costume, though. Like, we could have played that to
We
perfection.
should do that.
I know.
So you'll have to come back.
Just for that. One night.
And then go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was bummed. I was like, shit, well, I won't be here for Halloween.
No,
but that would have been awesome.
That's why you come back.
I know. Get on, you're the $1 Million Man. You buy me a plane ticket.
Yeah, but
come up here.
You got tax cheats, so you can get more money off your taxes, probably.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. I don't know if they'll let me check the briefcase onto the plane, though. It's got bricks in it. They might think that's a little sketchy.
Right, yeah. I forgot about that.
So I might just have to take a limo up or whatever. But we can have Virgil drive it. I'm sure by then, you know, everything will be cooled out. Just have Virgil drive me up.
Virgil?
You pay him enough, he will.
Right. Get him some of that Olive Garden sauce.
Dude.
He loves it on Twitter.
Sure. Yeah, then for sure he's doing it.
Or fuck money or whatever he calls it.
Right. A little bit of both.
Sure. Mix them together.
I get up here. We procure some good candy. We make fun of kids on video. And then I go home.
Perfect. It's the perfect crime.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad you're agreeing. I thought you were going to laugh at me for this. So I'm glad you're agreeing.
No, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that.
I'm telling you. I thought it was a genius idea.
Yeah. All right.
Mind you, it's May. And I thought of a Halloween idea.
That's okay. People do that all the time. People are probably thinking of Christmas presents right now.
Yeah, they're called methamphetamine addicts.
Oh.
Right.
I forgot about that.
That's what that is, yeah.
You had told me that before. All right. So you have anything else to say, or should I just get right into the news?
Listen, like I said, it wasn't going to be a 10-minute thing.
I know.
But I just had to get that out there.
You barely even went, like, 3.
Well, because I'm more concise. You're more of...
a rambler, you know, feel bad for me. You got all my feelings out. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I've heard that numerous times.
Speaking of ramblers...
Yeah.
Have we heard anything from our emails or our Facebooks? I'll tell you what.
Oh, I got something today.
We got some cool people on social media that we've been kind of chatting with back and forth.
Yep.
I have to give a shout out to one of my friends, Joe, who usually private messages me, tells me how much he loves the podcast.
Yeah, well, he's been private messaging me stuff. And it's borderline sexual harassment.
Okay. Well, I did not know that. He's part of the Relevant Wrestling
network. He's not relevant to me anymore because he keeps on sending me like the eggplant emoji, and I don't know what that means. Somebody had to tell me what that meant.
Are we going to do this right now?
Yeah, I am, because you did that with Mike Campbell, who is a buddy of mine. Okay, so you're going to spread lies about Mike Campbell. I'm going to spread lies about this guy, Joe.
I'll tell you what, Joe Gianfortune is not the type to send minuscule emojis to you on Facebook, Bob.
Well, he did.
If anything, he's sending you the real McCoy.
He ain't send me that.
You're getting a picture of a fat, veiny...
No.
Happy Halloween.
No. All right. So Joe, what is he talking about? Obviously, what I just said was a lie. Okay. I Bill Cosby'd it.
Nice. That's relevant right there.
Yeah. I mean, he might have actually did what he did. but
I'm thinking so.
I'm
I'm thinking
never
so.
know.
That'd be a hell of a wrestling character, I'll tell you that.
Oh, just sexually like rape people?
Yeah.
Yeah, great gimmick.
It's a heel.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a face. That'd be pretty difficult.
Well, at one time, Bill Cosby was a face.
Yeah, but that was before we knew about him raping somebody. If there was a character ever
So really,
created,
he was a heel the whole time.
right.
You just didn't
It
know.
was a slow burn. But if
Yeah.
there was ever a character where it's like, hey guys, I raped fucking Nia Jax last night, and people are like, yeah, he's our guy.
It'd be Bizarro World,
That's
right?
a real situation that we would have to get covered if people were cheering, yeah, sexual assault, you did it. I want to do that.
Well, maybe it's relatable for some people.
Like, I can
know.
just see the shirt now. Like, no means yes.
Dude,
You know,
I'm sold on that right
no,
there.
that is not what we're encouraging here on ICOPOD. That's bad.
Well, if it makes money.
It depends on how many commas are in it.
Right.
Okay, but no. So what's Joe saying? I don't even know what Joe's saying. Joe doesn't talk to
Yeah,
me.
he does. He wants to really, really jump in on some of these podcasts, but that tells me that, hey, people are interested. They want to talk about this stuff. We're bringing it to the forefront again.
What do you mean he wants to jump in and talk? He wants to talk to us?
Well, he wants to be on the podcast.
I don't want to talk to him.
I don't want to talk to Mike Campbell then.
Yeah, well, that's why I haven't had him on the show.
Well, there you go. Then
'Cause you
we're
don't wanna
even.
talk
We're
to him.
even. Okay, we're even.
Well, when you move, though, I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it, so maybe I'll have to add people into the conversation anyway.
Every person that talks to us, just have him come in.
Boom.
Yeah.
17,000 people.
Yeah. Yep. Just add him in.
That's exactly how many people talk to me.
Pipe him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be, all right, Christopher number 83. Go ahead.
And all right, so you know what else pisses me off?
Oh, boy.
Since we're getting into it now.
Well, I want to know what Joe's saying. Is it a compliment so I can feel good about myself?
Yes, it's compliments.
Okay.
Yes, he likes the
All right.
podcast. Shout out to him
Thanks,
and
Joe.
Relevant Wrestling. He does a Joshi podcast, which is female Japanese wrestling.
Okay, he never has me on Joshi.
Well, you don't know anything about that.
He doesn't know anything about WWF 93.
The jury's still out on that one. He might.
Yeah, but I might know stuff about Joshi.
Probably.
I could Google it and be like, Joshi.
Yeah, this broad.
I probably thought it was a Pokemon, to be honest with you, but it's okay. Go ahead.
So yeah, well, here's what else grinds my gears.
All right, Peter Griffin.
You're impossible.
All right, go ahead.
You're impossible. You grind my gears.
Good.
Okay?
Good.
Because now I lost my train of thought and I don't even know where we are anymore.
Well, we're at my apartment. But what did you had something that grind your gears? Something that bothers you?
Yeah. Now I can't remember.
Yeah, Yoshi, Joe.
Yoshi?
Yeah. I'm just trying to...
Joshi?
Or Yoshi? What is it?
Oh my god.
Is it Stoshi? Basically women's
I'm gonna throw
wrestling.
up.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw up.
So do you not know what you're talking about? Or are you just like gonna come out of nowhere and be like, oh, here, by the way, this is what
I might remember it, and I'm probably gonna cut you off because I did remember it.
Okay.
But I don't know it yet.
You don't know it yet.
No.
But there's something that definitely...
There's definitely
Something else
something that
that
makes me
bothers you.
mad. Yeah.
Okay, well, did Joe have exact thoughts on anything or no?
I'm not gonna put him on blast.
On blast.
Yeah, well, he made fun of you. If you want to know.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna know.
Here, I'll read your
No.
fucking notes.
Nope.
Let's see here. No, that's not anything. And then this still isn't anything. I don't see anything where he made fun of me.
Yeah, because he's not. I'm not gonna put him on blast. Okay.
What did he say?
He said Bob Cowling is the talent of the two. I love him. Can I get his number?
If only that was true.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that I suck. You don't want my phone number. Pretty much it.
No comment.
Okay. Well, thanks, Joe. I'll probably be needing a new co-host. So if you are interested, just private message.
Don't
me
say
or
that, because then you'll cut me out of the deal.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. I love Triangle, and you were just cut right out of it.
Yeah, great. Thanks, man.
And you know what? It'll be me,
That's
Joe,
awesome.
and Mike Campbell.
That'd actually
So-
probably be a hell of a show.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just need to get microphones. So
Hey, they might. I think
Joe probably does.
Yeah,
He has
probably,
a pocket.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know Joe.
Yeah.
But
he probably does.
maybe Mike has one too. I don't know. So we're gonna go right into observer notes, and I'm sure at some point here, Austin will be like, "Oh, this is what really grinds my gears," and then I'll have to,
It's gonna happen.
lose my train of thought.
Yeah.
So Masa Haratori will be the referee for the Hogan Yokozuna match at King of the Ring, and this is rumored to be done so that Hogan and the WWF can play up the heel referee angle. It allows Hogan to likely do the job to Yokozuna and also avoid having to wrestle Bret Hart at SummerSlam, which was previously reported.
So here's what grinds my gears.
Did you really think of it again?
No, but this does.
Okay.
You just butchered his name.
Masa Haratori. Haratori?
Hattori.
Hattori, that's what I said.
No.
Yeah, I definitely said Hattori.
And I believe if that's the same guy we're talking about, it's Tiger Hattori, who still referees for New Japan Pro
Yeah,
Wrestling.
right, but his name is Masa Hattori.
Yeah, do you want to hear how you said it?
Haratori.
Haratori. Yeah.
You know,
That's incorrect.
I pronounced every syllable.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce
No,
names.
incorrect.
All right, Skyner. So we go to our second here of news. It's Mr. Hughes, who still doesn't have a manager. At least that's the case on syndication, because guys like Slick are still trying to recruit him. Remember, though, that last week on Raw, Hughes had Harvey Wibbleman as his manager.
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense.
So it makes no sense. They've already burned through that angle. It doesn't
Right.
make much sense there at all. The car windshield that got smashed during the Michaels Perfect Brawl from last week belonged to Howard Finkel, and it was done as a practical joke.
Please tell me it was like his brand new car. He's like shining it up.
I don't know. I've remembered,
And like, you know what? Fuck it. Sean, put your boot through the front of it.
I remember hearing the story that they did that, and I believe Vince got him a new car
That's awesome.
after that happened.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like a new car, like not a new windshield. Like he bought him his whole new car.
How did they get Howard Finkel's car out to the front of the Manhattan Center without him knowing?
I don't know. They might have said, "Hey, Fink, just
Can you move your car?
park your car there, and we'll take care of it," or something. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Judging by the brackets for the King of the Ring, Dave Meltzer believes that Bret Hart will win the tournament and then beat Luger in the finals. This is judging off of the brackets, I guess, that have been made available. And he believes that this will lead to a title match for Bret at SummerSlam.
Well, I'll tell you what. From just the stuff we've seen and the people who have qualified for the King of the Ring is shaping up to be a pretty damn good tournament. From what we've seen.
Yeah.
So, on paper, I'm looking forward to it. Now, how they've built towards it hasn't been the greatest. But the final result might be something pretty special. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I definitely have interest in the actual tournament itself, I would say, going into this. So then, as usual here, we have the house show segment here where I kind of describe shows or whatever. But this week's going to be a little different because Mr. Dave Meltzer actually went to the May 15th show in San Francisco. That took place on May 15th at the Cow Palace, and it was performed in front of 4,000 fans. And I'm actually just going to kind of read what he thought of the show. Kind of give a perspective of how the show is going.
A little different.
Yeah, so I figured I'd just kind of get this out of the way, I guess. The first match on the show was Virgil, and he defeated Brooklyn Brawler in 12 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, dear God.
With a sunset flip out of the corner. And Meltzer says that the timing of what they did was fine, and that Brawler always seemed to be in the right position for Virgil's spots, but 75% of it was rest holds. They got a star and a quarter.
I probably would have gave it a quarter.
I don't know if I would even have sat down in my seat for that match. I might have gone and tried to get concessions or something. I mean, 12 minutes
That's
for
a lot.
Virgil and Brawler?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Jeez. All right. The second match saw Bob Backlund. He defeated Damian Demento in 11 minutes and 26 seconds.
Oh, my God.
With a small package. Demento has a great-looking heel face, but just about every spot was mistimed. And he considers it to be awful, and he got -1 star.
That's more like it. Yeah, that's more like it.
But 11 minutes of Demento?
Dude, -1 stars being pretty nice about it.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way.
That's just a train wreck waiting to happen. The third contest on the show saw Tatanka, and he pinned Razor Ramon with one of those double pins where Tatanka got his shoulder up that I guess had just been seen on WCW television hours earlier. The match went about 6 minutes, but Tatanka really worked hard, so it was okay. It got 2 stars.
I'd be interested to see that match.
Yeah, I don't...
Tatanka
they haven't
Ramon.
interacted or anything.
Right.
Two arguably kind of undefeated guys, I guess.
Well.
Ramon's not undefeated, but has some power there. Tatanka's still undefeated, though. And then we had an in-ring segment here where Lex Luger came out and spent several minutes posing in front of a small mirror. And then referee Jesse Hernandez came out and said that he had to wear an elbow pad or he couldn't wrestle. And Luger then simply walked back to the dressing room. Meltzer describes this as being a real waste of time and didn't get much heat.
So I assume that was a tease to say, oh, Luger's fighting tonight. Who's he going to fight? And then they're like, nah, he's not going to fight.
Well, I think he fights.
Oh.
because it's not this one, but the next one. Yokozuna, he pinned Jim Duggan in 6 minutes and 56 seconds. Of that, 2 minutes was cheerleading and 3 minutes was a bear hug.
Oh,
but with Duggan,
God.
you don't go in with high expectations. This was the only match on the show with any heat, and there was a huge pop when Duggan knocked Yokozuna off his feet, and they got a star rating.
Oof, that one sounds pretty brutal, though.
Yeah, like constant stalling. I don't think that's pretty ideal. We then have Bret Hart defeating Lex Luger by disqualification in 15 minutes and 53 seconds when Ramon interfered. Hart was very good here, and the match was of decent main event quality, but lacked main event heat. Hart had Luger in the sharpshooter when Ramon came in. They beat on Hart until Ramon held him, and Luger came with the forearm. Hart ducked, and Ramon was KO'd. When Ramon revived, he and Luger went at it. The crowd immediately got behind Ramon, even before he started playing to them. Must have been weird for all fans who have seen Ramon turn, and this was a turn since Ramon played to the crowd at the end. And then see him still as a heel on television. It was good to see them run an angle like this at the house show to build up the next card. You got 3 stars.
Yeah, that's a pretty weirdly booked card. I don't get the whole stalling with Luger thing just to have him fight at the end.
Well, it's probably just get heat on him. So I don't want to wrestle if they wear a pad. Oh, we hate you even more. Okay, Brett, go get him.
I mean, I guess. It doesn't sound like there was too many redeeming qualities about that show from what he wrote.
Well, it's not over yet. So we have Bam Bam Bigelow. He defeated Kamala. That's the way it's spelled by Meltzer here, but it's actually obviously Kamala. And Bigelow won the match in 6 minutes and 25 seconds. Kamala isn't over in the slightest as a phase. The whole thing was a build up to the spot where he can't figure out how to pin Bigelow. As the referee was trying to teach him, Bigelow schoolboyed him for the win. And that got a dud. It sounds like a dud of a match, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then in the main event, so you would have left after Brett Luger, it sounds like. But
yes.
In the main event here, the Steiner brothers, they beat the WWF Tag Team Champions Money Incorporated by disqualification in 15 minutes and 40 seconds. The place emptied out big time right after the ring introduction, which tells you how much interest the tag team title has right now.
Yeah.
The wrestlers sensed it as they worked a sound storyline, but it was pretty much lacking in action. Before the match, they ordered the briefcase to be sent to the dressing room. Finish saw Scott hit DiBiase with a Frankensteiner when Brooklyn Brawler ran to ringside with a briefcase and handed it to IRS, who then hit Scott with it. They simply announced the Steiners as the winners to tease that the titles had changed, but people have seen this too many times, and the fake title change got no pop. Finally, they announced it was a DQ, and the titles didn't change hands. Disappointing match. Star and a half.
Oh, God. Why did the Brooklyn Brawler fucking come down to
I don't even know. That makes no sense.
Oh, my God. That sounds horrible.
See, now that's something where I'd have, like, Mr. Hughes come out.
That's what I was thinking.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, what do we know? We don't know nothing.
Yeah.
It's noted here that the next show in the market is on June 25th in Oakland, with Luger taking on Ramon, Head Shrinkers taking on Smoking Guns, Tatanka battles Bigelow, Shawn Michaels takes on Mr. Perfect, and in the main event, this is the last match that's noted, probably not the main event, Undertaker takes on Giant Gonzalez.
That already sounds much better.
Yeah, that just based on that card alone, I'm probably going to go to that one.
Yeah.
In comparison to the show that Meltzer described. Into some syndication news here. Bonnie Blackstone made her debut as a announcer on the May 15th edition of Superstars. Not really important. I just noted it for whatever reason.
Who is she later on? Anybody?
She's just Bonnie Blackstone.
Oh, okay.
She came from Global Wrestling.
Gotcha.
There was a King of the Ring qualifying match between Tatanka and Giant Gonzalez. That took place on the May 15th edition of Superstars. And yes, we indeed reviewed it.
So Bob sends this to me on Facebook. Mind you, he gave me ample amount of time this time.
Yes.
It was not midnight, Monday night. We record on Tuesday. Like, you better watch it.
Yes.
So that was nice.
You're welcome.
Yes, I appreciate that. So I go to YouTube. I get ready to hit play on this video. And it's a 5-minute long video. And this assured me that Gonzalez wins definitely. Because why else would it be 5 minutes? As I hit play, and Gonzalez made his way to the ring, it was nice to see that he did still have some pretty good heat on him. Even though we have barely seen him on Raw in a while. although his leotard this time around had no hair on it and it was all airbrushed, so it looked really, really weird.
I noticed that too when I was
Yeah.
watching. Yeah, not a really good look.
Not a
for
good look.
Gonzalez.
No.
I mean, neither one of them are good looks, but that's especially bad.
Well, yeah. Tatanka came down with a head of steam, so he ran down to the ring and stopped right on the apron and just gave the big man a stare down, which was like, okay, he's kind of sizing him up, realizing what he's bit off, and it might be a little bit more than he can chew. And again, I was interested in this. Like I said last week, I was interested to see how they were going to do this. Was I expecting a 5-star match? No. But I thought, hey, maybe Tatanka either will bump around pretty good for Gonzalez or he'll be able to chop him down like they usually do. Because think about it. Gonzalez and Taker really are the only ones we've seen in an altercation other than enhancement guys for Gonzalez. So we don't really know the extent of how badly Gonzalez sucks. All right, so I was hoping to see either right through Gonzalez for this one or, hey, he's not so bad after all. Maybe he can do some stuff. What do you think, Bob?
I wasn't looking forward to it at all. It doesn't matter who's in the ring. I mean, it's freaking Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. I don't know if there's anybody that could make me interested in a Giant Gonzalez match, to be quite honest with you. I was really bummed that it was Tatanka.
Yeah.
That he was going to be, I guess. I mean, if you're going into this blind, you're probably thinking Tatanka's going to get murdered in about 3 minutes.
Completely. So you see the 5-minute video, they're like, okay, Gonzalez
Yeah.
won. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into it, just real quick, I don't have too many notes on this one. Gonzalez dished out some good chokes and knees in the corner and had Tatanka really fighting to survive really, really early on. But Tatanka was able to rally back and jumped off the top a few times with a chop to stumble the Giant. I did like the dynamic between the two, but you could definitely tell they were both green. They didn't know what to do with each other. But the visual was good. The little Indian that could against this giant guy who's like fucking destroys people. So that was good.
Well, I think if anytime you're trying to rely on Tatanka to potentially carry a match, you're probably not going to be thrilled with the result.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Before the match really gets going or anything, they focus on Tatanka's hair,
Yes.
which had gotten cut by Bam Bam Bigelow. And it appears that Tatanka was being cautious, but then he gets decked by Gonzalez pretty quickly. Gonzalez works over Tatanka with a choke in the corner and a knee lift in the midsection, and then Gonzalez drops Tatanka with a boot to the chest. And this is something I also had to go back and double check to make sure he actually kind of did the move well, and he actually like lifted his leg properly and made contact with Tatanka. So
okay.
it looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Tatanka fights back with strikes and then kicks to the legs to stagger Gonzalez. Tatanka comes off the top to deliver an overhand strike and does it from another corner, so he's just basically bouncing around to different corners to do the move.
This was during his rally that I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah, Gonzalez catches him on the third attempt and then shoves the referee down on the chokeslam attempt. That leads to the referee calling for the bell, and Gonzalez gets disqualified, but still delivers the chokeslam to Tatanka. So probably one of the worst finishes, not really accomplishing much of anything. Tatanka kind of looks like he can't hang with someone with Gonzalez. Gonzalez sure comes across like a monster, but
Also
that's
a
just a
fucking
bad finish.
idiot.
Yeah, that's just a bad finish.
Because, hey, I have this match in the bag. Get out of the way, referee. Choke slam. Stay on the pin like you're pinning him.
Yeah.
And the match was thrown out.
Right.
Like, what? They couldn't think up anything better than this? This just goes to show that they've burned through so many fucking convoluted finishes that now we're to the point where we got to get a disqualification. Have, I don't know, Gonzalez push the ref. It's like, wow.
Well,
That was good.
my question is, why would you even have him in the King of the Ring tournament?
Exactly.
mean-
That was, dude, fuck this match.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Fuck this match.
The Nasty Boys, last week I said, oh, hey, they're coming back. Remember that?
Mhm.
Because you were super concerned about it.
Oh, yeah, I was heartbroken. That they
Yeah,
had
well,
done
it
that.
turns out they've had their final appearance with the WWF, and that took place on the May 16th edition of Wrestling Challenge. So it looks like we will not have the Nasty Boys returning
Fuck yeah.
to the WWF.
Good.
Wow. All right.
Dead weight gone.
Wasn't expecting that reaction.
Dead weight gone.
On the same edition of Wrestling Challenge, Mr. Perfect took on Doink the Clown in yet another qualifying match for the King of the Ring tournament. Now, they've wrestled once before on Superstars, I believe it was.
Fucking draw. Time limit draw.
Yeah, they had a time limit draw.
Yeah.
So this time, I believe the announcers even mentioned it, there must be a winner.
Oh, see, I didn't hear him say that.
Yeah. Like, well, the first time was draw, but now this time, someone's got to win. During Doink's entrance, he squirted a kid with his flower and then got attacked by Perfect from behind.
So let me just slow this entrance down a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Because Perfect comes out to, of course, a huge cheer, as usual.
It's piped in.
Listen, what's everything piped into you, Bob?
Yeah.
So...
Nothing's real anymore.
Which it actually might be. So when Perfect comes out... It actually might be. When Perfect comes out, again, huge cheers... And Doink's music hits, it's like, dun, 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 and the crowd's like still cheering, and it goes, dun, 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 and the whole crowd is like, soon as that hits, boo. So it's like an immediate drop off. Yeah. So it might be piped in, because I definitely did notice that. So it's funny, the crowd switched dramatically with the change of music. But we get down, so Doink's carrying out a bucket of popcorn, he's like throwing it and chewing it or whatever, and he gets to the little kid. And I think maybe he offers the bucket of popcorn to the kid, and the kid goes to, like, reach for it. And he squirts the kid right in the face with the flower. Direct hit. And this, I feel like, really pissed the crowd off. And they were like, oh, no, fuck you for that.
Yeah.
So then, like, the real heat came in. And as soon as that happens, like you said, Perfect comes down outside the ring and starts beating on Doink.
Well, it even... so I guess I don't normally watch the entrances or whatever, but for whatever reason I did for this one. And the kid kind of looked petrified.
Yes.
Because he's maybe like 4 or 5 years old. It's a young kid.
Yeah, 5 years old, yeah.
Yeah, he's a young looking kid. And I guess the entire interaction with Doink, he was just like, what?
Yeah.
What? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
He was very upset, though, after he got squirted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the dad was holding him, and he didn't really care though. He's just like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, Perfect attacks Doink from behind and sends him face first into the ring steps. Perfect leg sweeps Doink after blocking a kick, and then focuses his offense on the left knee. Not the right knee, the left knee.
You're damn right.
And my like focus here of any other wrestling, it's always the left side of the body. It is driving me nuts. There's got to be a reason.
There you go.
Doink is selling the leg while putting a sleeper hold on Perfect. Like he can't put a lot of pressure on it or something. Perfect knocks Doink to the mat with a kick to the leg and then drops Doink's leg over the apron. Perfect continues to work over the left knee in the ring, but doesn't get a submission. Doink tries to get away from Perfect. And then, but it's kept on the mat with a figure 4. Doink manages to reach the ropes to break the hold.
All right, so you want to hear something stupid?
Go ahead.
I'm waiting at this point for Doink to pull his leg off, and it's a fake leg. I'm waiting for it. Because why else would Perfect be working over Doink's leg? I thought for sure he'd pull it out of a fake, like it's like a fake boot or it's a fake leg. He gets to jump on Perfect, and it's like a DQ finish. Perfect wins, goes to the tournament. Like, I thought for sure that was what was going to happen.
You really thought he was going to pull out a fake
something
leg?
like that. Yeah. Because
that
I
would
was
be
like,
funny.
He's working the leg. Maybe he pulls it off, or it's like a fake boot, and he like stumbles. And I don't know. So I was waiting for some bullshit like that to happen.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
They go to the floor, and then Doink rams Perfect's face into the steps a few times, kind of getting revenge from earlier. Doink rams Perfect face first into the top turnbuckle, easy for me to say, and then yanks Perfect to the mat by his hair, and then Perfect gets sent to the floor with a clothesline. Back in the ring, Doink focuses his offense on the left arm of Perfect, with basic wrist lock. They begin to trade slaps in the middle of the ring, and then Doink drops Perfect with a few wild strikes. Perfect gets up again, and they continue to trade strikes as the bell has sounded, just out of nowhere. There's no... Usually there's like a dramatic roll-ups or whatever. It's just two guys punching each other. I thought they both got disqualified, but that wasn't the case. Perfect hits the Perfect Plex, but time has expired, and yet another draw.
So here's what I thought the finish was. I thought it was, they were punching with closed fists.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We had to stop the match.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's a time limit draw again.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
And that was going to be a disqualification, but no. After the match, Perfect chases Doink to the backstage area.
Yeah, well, right before, Perfect gets on the house mic and says, "Oh, we started this. Now we're going to finish it. Give me 5 more minutes, bozo." And
Okay.
this is where Doink is like, he kind of refuses. So Perfect turns his back, and Doink gets back into the ring and attacks him. So I'm thinking, okay, they're going to get another 5 minutes. There's going to be a finish to the match. And no, I was wrong. Like you said, Perfect chases him out, and the match is over.
Of course.
So, what the fuck?
So, realistically, are these guys out of the tournament?
I don't know. I
would
don't
have
get
to
it.
think so.
I don't get it.
I don't like the draw finish, but the action was pretty solid for what it was worth here. And Perfect, over the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, his intensity is definitely much, much better. So it's adding to his matches for me.
Yeah, for me, this one was very hard to keep my interest. I found myself, which I never do, browsing Facebook on my phone.
See, that's what I run into a lot.
Yeah.
Because I get distracted.
Well, I try, dude. I really don't do that.
Yeah.
For this one, I did, just because it was like.
I thought you were going to do that for the first one, for Tatanka Gonzalez.
Oh, you got to think it was only 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. This was like
This
8.
one's well, the video itself was about 10. So it's like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
The match was like 8. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was disappointed, especially because the last match they had, I thought was actually pretty good.
Yeah, the first match was better.
Yeah,
than their second
completely.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, no, they weren't able to pull a rabbit out of the hat twice. 2 times in a row. So
Kind of shocking, too. I thought they were going to
so did I.
maybe even be better than the first one.
Yeah, so did I.
From there, we go to the May 17th edition of Raw. And we are yet again live from the Manhattan Center in Manhattan, New York. And we just start off with a Raw opening video, and then we go to the arena where Vince McMahon, Randy Savage, and Bobby Heenan are on commentary, and they talk about the Special Olympics. And we get footage of a kid like lifting up weights or whatever, and Randy Savage and Smoking Guns were by his side to help motivate and stuff like that. Which I understand Savage, but like Smoking Guns haven't even debuted yet, at least on Raw. I mean, I guess they were on Mania last week, but
So here's my thing.
where the kids even know who the Cowboys were?
Right.
Are they wrestlers? Like, I don't even know if they know
Here's
that.
my thing with this. Right. So like you said, we get thrown down. Real side note, Ring Girl was looking real good. By the way,
Those ring girls are getting real distracting.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
So yeah, we get the piped in video of the Special Olympics, and all I could think to myself was, Randy Savage is genuinely invested in this. Like, he really appreciates stuff like this. The WWF is using this as a promotional tactic.
100%.
So that's why the Smoking Guns are there.
Right.
So it kind of sucks. For me, it's like Savage is caught in the middle. Like, again, I really feel like he enjoys doing that stuff. But WWE's capitalizing on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of shitty. So that was my only thing with that.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good observation. I think that's exactly what they're doing. McMahon hypes up what will be on the show, and then we also get a video to remind us of Mr. Perfect attacking Michaels last week outside the venue. Lord Alfred Hayes is outside the Manhattan Center, and he says that someone was in disguise, and that we would be probably very surprised to see who it was. But that mystery person will be on Raw, so we just have to stay tuned to find out.
I had no idea who it was going to be. No idea.
I mean, I knew who it was going to be, but that was an interesting way to...
I figured it'd be
promote it.
somebody from, like, similar to a Luger, where it's like he was
A
from,
big name from a different company.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's definitely the way that they attempted to
Yeah.
make
Yep.
it seem, for sure. Our first match on Raw is the Raw debut of the Smoking Guns. They took on Tony Fajea and Glenn Ruth. Of course, Glenn Ruth would go on to be Thrasher of the Headbangers. And they shot blanks. The Smoking Guns, they shot blanks during their entrance and scared Fink out of the ring.
Well,
he almost darted over the ropes.
Yeah, he was
to get
gone.
there.
Well, because they start firing like crazy. It's not just one each. They start popping them off.
Yeah.
And in their entrance music, it starts with a gunshot. And as soon as that cracks through the arena, it sounded like a gunshot. And Bobby Heenan goes, "Hit the deck!"
Yeah.
Like somebody's shooting in the Manhattan Center. So it's like, oh, shit.
I don't know how smart it is, though, to do that
I know.
in New York.
Yeah.
Because everybody in the crowd was like, yeah, guns.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that was a little worrying. But yeah, the dude, when Finkel jumps out of the ring. It's hilarious.
He dove. He was like, oh shit, they're gonna shoot me. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Bart starts the match with Tony and tosses him around the ring with arm drags before Billy gets tagged in, and then Ruth comes in as well, but he's met with a clothesline. Bart tags back in and hits a side Russian leg sweep. The Guns throughout the match are making pretty quick and often tags while keeping control of Ruth, and then Billy takes Ruth over with a snap suplex. Billy continues with a slam on Ruth and then proceeds to backdrop Ruth into Bart, who then spikes Ruth with a pile driver. Now, I just want to say, what in the blue hell was that? Considering what was going on in the match, I was not expecting a finish like that.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
100%. I was not expecting that out of the Smoking Guns.
All right, so we get really, really solid tag team moves the whole match. Just basic stuff, though. So they're tagging in and out. They're cutting the ring off, kind of keeping it to their side of the ring. So for me, who hasn't really seen much of the Smoking Guns, if anything, I was like pretty impressed. I was like, okay, this is a pretty good showing for these guys right now. So they go into this finish, and I thought Bart was out of position. Because like you said, Billy backdrops him pretty high up. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, Bart's in the way. But Bart literally catches the guy as the guy's facing Billy's back. He's upside down. So it was like a really awkward... I was like, what the hell are they doing right here? And then he just drops him for a pile driver. I was like, oh my God. I've never seen that before.
I have seen it before, but I believe it was like the Faces of Fear in WCW.
Oh.
Which was even, I mean, they hit it very well.
Yeah.
I mean, this was nicely done. It was just, like, in the context of the match.
It came out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Came out of nowhere.
It never in a million years would I have thought, oh, cool, this guy's going to backdrop Ruth into a fucking pile driver.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's like on par with the Frankensteiner in terms of I'm gonna jump out of my seat if I saw that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So the match was pretty basic, but that finish for me was pretty eyebrow raising.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Coming out of that, we go to a WWF Mania ad. You know, brush your teeth. It's gonna be a great show.
Yeah.
Randy Savage and Bobby Heenan hype up a match between Tatanka and Terry Taylor taking place on Mania. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I won't force you to watch that, though. Don't worry.
Good.
In the ring, Vince McMahon calls out the WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels for an interview. Naturally, the fans chant that he's gay.
Immediately, before they even start talking.
Yeah, but Heenan covers it by saying, yeah, they think Shawn is great, which he said before, but it still cracks me up.
Yeah.
Michaels talks about the attack from last week and decides to recap the facts that he is a man of his word. He promised that he would win the IC title, and he did. He defends all over the world. He does. That he would defeat Doug in a lumberjack match. Technically, he did. And that he said he is better than Mr. Perfect. He took Perfect's best shot, and yet he's still the champion. Now, I don't know what he's talking about because he hasn't had a singles match with Perfect, but that's okay. Michaels dismisses the thought that he is a reluctant champion. He considers himself to be the best in the World Wrestling Federation and would defend the title against anyone at any place at any time. When you're Shawn Michaels, you fear no man.
Yeah.
Almost as if it was scripted. Someone enters the ring wearing a hoodie and glasses. Michaels doesn't know who it is, but it ends up being Marty Jannetty. Jannetty wants to know if Michaels is a man of his word and defend the title tonight. Michaels isn't liking the idea of that and says that Jannetty doesn't have his gear, so it wouldn't be fair. He doesn't want Jannetty to get hurt, like real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Jannetty says that if all it takes is he needs to get his gear, then I'll go get it, and he'll have the title shot tonight. And Michaels isn't happy about this news, and then Vince McMahon announces that we will indeed have the championship match tonight on Raw. Since when is McMahon making matches?
Yeah.
He's just a commentator.
Right. For me, this moment right here is one of the favorite moments we've had so far on our podcasting journey for me. Because I had no inclining of a clue that Marty Jannetty was going to return on this show. He would have been the last person who came to mind for any kind of like surprise or, hey, I'm back. When this guy was walking in the ring, so he walks into the ring, he's got his back to the camera, and it's literally like a blue pinstripe shirt with a gray hoodie. In good shape. I had no idea who it was. No idea. It's Jannetty. I was flipping. I was like, holy shit right now. It was awesome. I loved this entire thing. I loved Jannetty's like, oh, you're a man of your word. Oh, my gear. Let me go get it. Let me go get
it's
it.
right in my truck, in my car.
Holy shit, man. This was awesome. This is the moments that I'm looking forward to. Stuff like this. I loved it.
Yeah, because it
Loved
comes
the whole
across like
thing.
unexpected.
I didn't expect it in the least.
Yeah.
Not in the least.
So I take it you enjoyed the segment.
Loved it. One of my favorite moments we've seen.
It
thus
was
far.
definitely a good segment.
Loved it.
Coming out of that, we go to our second match of the night. It's Razor Ramon, and he's taking on the Kid. Ramon, before the match, do you have something to say there?
So Ramon's coming out. You see Waltman in the ring, and I'm thinking again, holy shit, is this the match? Because I've never seen the match.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never
You've
watched
just seen
it.
it. Or like you just heard of it.
Like the clip and like
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm thinking, we're about to get another huge shock on this show. So I was totally invested right here, right off the bat. So would we come in? The Michaels or whatever. This Raw for me is already like game changer.
Well, you got to think already. So we get the Raw debut of a tag team.
Yes.
With a sick finish.
Sick finish.
And then we have the return of Marty Jannetty.
Huge.
So you got to think like if we're watching this a lot like real time, it's probably 15 minutes into the show.
Dude, yeah.
You're probably like, oh fuck yeah,
This
I'm
is
watching
fucking
this
awesome.
is a great show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before the match, Ramon fakes out a large woman who was a ring girl by he was going to try to kiss her, but he like fakes her out, and then she like runs to the backstage area, like out of embarrassment or something. But that was probably planned out as soon. Razor shoves Kid down and then delivers a chop in the corner, and then Heenan quote hears, "Are the smoking guns back? I heard something go off."
Yeah, I just heard a gun go off.
Yeah, on the chops there.
Yeah.
Kid is tossed out of the corner, and the crowd is eating it up. Ramon controls Kid in the middle of the ring with an abdominal stretch. Kid ducks a clothesline, but then runs into a fallaway slam. Kid avoids Razor in the corner, and Ramon hits the post, or at least actually hit the post. I'm not really sure if he even jumped at the post. But anyway, Kid comes off the top with a moonsault and is able to get the pin on Razor Ramon. Kid quickly runs backstage, celebrating the victory around rings after celebrating the victory at ringside, and Ramon is livid about the loss.
Yeah, so going into the finish, real quick, they just announced Waltman as the Kid here, so he's changed his name again. So this is the third name, so he's just the Kid.
Each time he's competed, it's changed.
It's different. Yeah, it's a different name. Really solid action. I was really digging the match, and I felt that the finish came out of nowhere. I knew what was the I knew like what the sequence was, what was going to happen.
Yeah, you know the visual of it.
You know what's going to happen. And then when it happens, you're like, holy shit, that was quick, and I didn't expect that.
Yeah, the match is real, like, what, 2 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty instant.
Like I said, I knew it was coming, and it still took me by surprise.
Yeah, well, to me, like, I have it written here. The finish was kind of abrupt.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense from the perception of the post shot and the moonsault, and even on the moonsault, it looks like Kid's like knee kind of clips him in the head anyway, so you can kind of buy into being dazed on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was really a nicely done match, and I would have to think, sure, this Kid has lost like 3 matches prior to Doink and Mr. Hughes and whoever else, but coming out of this, I'm being like, wow, that guy. Yeah, let's see what can this kid do. You know?
Yeah, not only that,
hitting a moonsault. I mean, you don't see a moonsault every day.
Yeah,
in WWF at this time.
93.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, just like you said, exactly. Coming off of this, I want more of the Kid on Raw. I want to see more of him. It looked so when he got the pin and he goes out and he starts celebrating. It looks like Sean Waltman legit couldn't believe that he just pinned Razor Ramon. Like, I feel like he was legit in shock.
It might have been an instance where, oh my God, they actually let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just beat Razor Ramon,
yeah.
one of the bigger names in the company.
Right.
Like, holy shit. Yeah,
the crowd was going out of their mind at this point, like insane. The commentators were flipping out, and we go to commercial. So good. Because not only am I not moving an inch, I ain't getting up to go get food. I ain't going up to get a drink. I don't even fathom what's going to happen next on Raw this week. Because holy shit, we just got 2 back-to-back double
This is
whammies
easily the most exciting Raw
thus far.
from since at any point.
And we're not even
Nothing
halfway through.
Yeah, like nothing's even isn't matching it at this point.
So I loved it. Again, I thought it was really good, really effective. It instantly makes Sean Waltman a star. And I don't think Razor Ramon really loses anything off of this one.
Well, here, I was just going to say, because they're talking about turning him face anyway.
Right.
And they've already done it on the house shows. So as a heel, if he's losing to the Kid, are you really losing much value out of a heel Ramon when you don't intend on keeping him heel?
No.
Right.
No.
So this is the perfect opportunity to essentially kill off the Ramon heel character.
Yes.
And then you're also making a huge underdog character in the Kid.
Yes.
So
yes,
bravo on the booking on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, kind of making 2 face characters essentially.
Completely.
Ramon and Kid. So
yeah,
well done there. Coming out of that, we go to our third contest of the night. That is Tatanka, and he's taking on Scott Taylor. Taylor's probably one of my favorite jobbers. Damn it, enhancement talents.
Well, I was just gonna say this match too. I was expecting to be pretty damn good.
Yeah, because Taylor can bump for people.
Absolutely.
He's not afraid to take some stuff here.
Absolutely.
Tatanka turns Taylor inside out with a clothesline, followed by a backdrop, and then Taylor is backdropped over the tops of the floor, and then quickly followed up with an overhand chop off the apron to the floor. Tatanka continues to beat on Taylor in the ring with chops, and then comes off the ropes with an elbow drop. Taylor comes off the ropes and is driven down to the mat with a power slam. Tatanka takes Taylor over with a hip toss and then taunts to the camera saying this will happen to Bigelow. So they're playing up that feud on Raw now.
Yep.
Tatanka goes on the war dance, and Taylor gets a little bit of momentum, but Tatanka finishes him off at the end of the trail. I thought there was a few good bumps by Taylor, especially on the floor for Tatanka, but in general, I mean, Taylor's a bump machine, so anybody you put in there with him is going to automatically look good.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking here as I was watching this, and it's very obvious and evident to me that the WWF has decided to move away from enhancement guys of the past, like the fat, hairy, older men who are slow, not impressive. This is a different generation of enhancement guy, and Scott Taylor's really at the forefront of this.
Yeah, they're going for younger, shorter, smaller guys,
Young,
which makes
quick,
sense.
Talented.
Yeah, it makes sense because if they're getting tossed around, your guys are going to look like way better.
Exactly.
Instead of having them go in there against somebody that's 6'8",
Exactly.
340. You know, like, what the hell can you really do with that?
Exactly. And it was funny, too, because as I'm watching this, I'm sitting here hoping that how cool would it be if you got all these talented enhancement guys and they're like, you know what? We're following the lead of 1, 2, 3 Kid. We're just going to get some victories off people. So we're going to start winning over stars. And they, like, form a collective group.
Like a stable of just enhancement guys?
Yeah. And we're like, screw that. We're getting wins now because we know we're good. So we're going to show you we're good. Imagine if you had, you got Scott Taylor, Sean Waltman.
The Kid.
The Kid. You could have PJ Walker.
I was going to say PJ Walker.
As a fall guy.
Glenn Ruth.
Glenn Ruth in there, sure.
L.A. Gore.
Yeah. Maybe L.A. Gore is another fall guy. But, dude, you could easily build like a nice little stable with those guys and make stars. It would be crazy.
Well, it's ironic because of the guys you mentioned, I think they all kind of...
They become stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the attitude there and stuff like that.
So it's fun. I don't know. I thought of that. Well, not to really compare to the Job Squad, which is later on.
Well, yeah, the Job Squad was already made guys.
Yeah, but essentially, if you did that with these guys, I think it would have got over fucking huge. Especially if they were doing moonsaults and all this shit. All these moves.
Dwayne Gill and Barry Hardy.
Yeah. All these moves. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. No, that'd be kind of a unique thing to see, I guess.
Yeah.
So, we go to the King of the Ring report with Mean Gene, and then Gene hypes up the Kid from earlier, and then focuses on the King of the Ring pay-per-view event. As expected, he promotes the showdown between Yokozuna and the WWF World Champion Hulk Hogan, and then we note that we got some first-round matches announced. I don't believe it was announced last week or anything, but we got Bret Hart. He'll be taking on Razor Ramon in the first round. Bam Bam Bigelow will meet Jim Duggan.
Mm-hmm.
Tatanka against Lex Luger. Yeah, that's the 3. So we got 3 matches announced.
I was interested in all of them.
I mean, I could... Bigelow, Duggan, I don't know if that's going to be great. But yeah, no.
What Duggan's been doing, I'm interested.
Yeah, well, that's with Michaels, though.
Well, yeah.
Sean.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, no, I think it's a relatively strong first 3 matches for
Yeah.
the tournament.
Yep.
This weekend, Shawn Michaels will be in a qualifier match against Crush, but it will be a non-title match.
Ugh.
So that should be great. And then Mr. Hughes will meet Kamala in another qualifying match.
Ugh.
And then Gene promotes Sherry Martel will be on All American with himself and Heenan. And then Heenan, back at the commentary table, claims that Sherry has a thing for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
That she's gonna pop the question to Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that she's in love with him that much. We get the Ico Pro ad from Tatanka and Slim Jim ad from Randy Savage, and from there we get our 4th contest of the evening. It is Yokozuna against Kamala.
Yeah, real quick. So when we get thrown back to the commentary table from Gene, I just love when Savage gets so worked up and so passionate. He like slowly stands from the table and talks over the commentators and just starts losing his mind. I love that he's not letting the commentary booth restrict him from being Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Like, he's still a fucking psycho and just is like wicked passionate, over the top, over animated. It's always good to see that. And it, again, just makes me wish that Randy Savage on a full-time basis was wrestling in the ring.
It'd be kind of weird to see him mellow.
Well, that's what I mean.
just
I'm
standing
glad
or
he
sitting
didn't
there.
let them do that.
Yeah.
Or like he didn't just kind of ride the wave and just, oh, I'm at the commentary table now. I'm Randy Savage kind of thing.
be excited.
Yeah. No, he made something out of it. And this throw to the commentary table just reaffirmed that for me. So that was nice.
As for the match here with Yokozuna and Kamala, Kamala staggers Yokozuna early on, colliding with the former champion in the middle of the ring. They do it again, and then Yoko continues to stagger around. Kamala ducks a clothesline to deliver a kick to the midsection and then overhand chops. But Yoko stops him with a throat thrust. Yokozuna continues to work over Kamala with strikes before finally dropping Kamala. And Yokozuna delivers a leg drop as well. Kamala fights back with a series of strikes coming off the ropes. Mr. Fuji distracts Kamala from the floor, and that allows a Sivan kick and splash in the corner. Yoko delivers a running back splash in the corner before finishing Kamala off with the Banzai drop.
So going into this, I fully expected a shit show. I expected
That's what I was
a
expecting.
garbage match, like, holy cow, that made Yokozuna look like hell. I was pleasantly surprised with this one. It didn't come off too bad. Neither guy really looked like they have no idea what they're doing. So that was nice. It was a nice surprise to see that a Kamala and Yokozuna match didn't turn into trash.
I'm just glad that they did not have it get to a point where Kamala didn't know how to pin Yokozuna.
Exactly. And at no point was Kamala really heading the match by any means.
No.
So that was good, especially because he's been seen and really painted as a, I would say, comedy character as of late.
Yeah, he didn't even come out with anybody, right?
No.
So
No.
Slick isn't around anymore.
So it's nice. I thought it was, for what we had between the two guys and what it could have been, decent showing here from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there was nothing really going on.
Oh, of course not.
Just basic things
Yeah.
here.
And you could have switched out Kamala for
Anybody.
anybody.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it is what it is.
Regardless of that, though, I think on some level it's still a good victory for Yokozuna.
Yes.
Sure, Kamala's not over as a face, as evident by what Meltzer said in his house show review. And I think that's even evident in New York. I mean, they're not really responding
they don't
to what
really
he's doing.
care. Yeah.
But
Still,
it's a good, clean victory for Yoko.
bigger guy, clean
Yeah,
victory.
clearly Kamala is on the way out of
Yes.
the WWF. And I think it's about time that happens. He's
Yes.
like, Kamala's another example of a guy who came into the company and probably 6 to 8 months in
was used up.
Yeah, like you
used
you
that.
had a purpose for him with the Undertaker in '92, and then
Right.
you got nothing.
Right.
So we get another All-American ad with Mean Gene and Bobby Heenan, and this is the point where Bobby Heenan thinks that Sherry will pop the question to him, and that's how much that she's in love with him. And then
I always like, real quick,
Yeah.
to cut you off again.
no, it's fine.
I always like that. So we've seen this same promo twice for All American Wrestling. I like that it finishes with Gene and Bobby standing on the side of the road in Vegas, like hitchhiking.
Hitchhiking, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good visual.
Well, doesn't he even say like at least you could buy us a car or something?
Yeah, the least they could do was provide us with a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From there we go to our main event of the evening is the WWF Intercontinental Champion Shawn Michaels defending against the returning Marty Jannetty. Now remember, Jannetty's been gone since the Royal Rumble, which is about 4 months ago.
Bad showing.
At the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. So hopefully they will have a much better showing here tonight.
I was hoping.
Jannetty doesn't really get that big of a reaction on his entrance.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a bummer. But, maybe the fans are kind of...
They don't know what to expect, maybe.
Well, maybe they're kind of picking up on the idea here of like, well, Jannetty keeps on leaving.
Yes.
So like, can we really get invested in this guy?
Right.
Something like that.
As soon as we start caring, he's gone.
He's gone, right? He fucks up.
Yeah.
Michaels works over Jannetty in the corner, ramming his face into the corner a few times, and then Jannetty counters and nearly wins with a roll up out of the corner. Marty almost wins with a sunset flip, but then Michaels gets out of it and regroups in the corner for a moment. Jannetty drops Michaels with a clothesline and then another one, sending the champion over the top to the floor. Marty connects with a baseball slide and then pulls himself back up to take Michaels out with a slingshot crossbody to the floor.
Marty looked great.
Yeah, he was on...
I'm just saying, this little exchange and then the vaulting out to the floor, he looked on fire.
Yeah, I mean, he did kind of struggle with the skin of the cat there.
A little bit, yeah.
It was, Jannetty's definitely head on straight. He's doing pretty well for himself.
Yep.
It looks like, what do I got here? Jannetty drops Michaels with a clothesline. I already did all that stuff. Okay, so Michaels begs off in the corner, but comes back with a boot and then misses a super kick. Jannetty delivers an arm drag and a head scissors for a near fall. Michaels gets out of a head scissors but misses an elbow drop. Jannetty backdrops Michaels and then sends Michaels upside down in the corner, causing Michaels to crash to the floor. At this point, Shawn grabs the WWF Intercontinental Championship and plans to leave, but Mr. Perfect appears and stops him. Michaels begs off as we go to commercial. When we return, Jannetty has Michaels on the apron before slinging him back into the ring. Michaels counters a head scissors by dropping Jannetty throat first over the top rope. Michaels delivers a flurry of strikes in the corner to drop Marty and chokes him a little bit. Michaels comes off the ropes to splash down onto Jannetty over the middle rope.
Yeah, it just seemed as though Michaels was doing anything he could to keep Jannetty grounded. Like, he was throwing everything at him but the kitchen sink. And it was to the point of the match where the crowd was completely invested in this match, totally enthralled. They're hanging on every word. And even to the point where it's like, so Perfect standing on the outside of the ring. And Bobby is irate that Mr. Perfect has basically forced Shawn to stay in this match. He calls Mr. Perfect the jackass of the century. And Vince goes, hey. Like, so he pulled out jackass of the century for this one.
That's when you know he's heated.
That's when you know he's heated. So just to kind of paint the picture for people either who haven't seen it or you haven't watched it yet, this match was different than most matches on Raw. Everything from the commentators to the wrestlers to the fans were all working together for this one. So that was a very, very nice change of the stereotypical matches as of late, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, all the momentum at this point is Jannetty.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
And like Michaels would just, as you mentioned, just try to cut him off at really any point, but doesn't have much momentum going on his end.
Right.
Jannetty is then sent into the corner and is met with a drop kick. And then Marty blocks a second drop kick, managing to catapult the champion into the post. Marty goes for the cover, but Michaels kicks out, and then Jannetty yanks Michaels down by his hair and pummels him, followed by a spinning elbow. Michaels comes off the ropes and is nearly pinned by Marty with a snap power slam. Marty fakes a middle rope crossbody, but then hits a twisting top rope crossbody for a near fall. Michaels misses a kick, and then they counter some roll-ups here. Near falls, adding some suspension here.
Mm-hmm.
Michaels rolls through a roll-up and almost steals the victory. Shawn super kicks Jannetty and then proceeds to taunt Mr. Perfect, which in reality makes no sense, so I don't know why you wouldn't just pin him. Michael stands on the middle rope, and then Perfect tosses his towel into Michael's face, and then Jannetty takes advantage of this by managing to get an inside cradle on Michaels and wins the title.
Wins the belt. I repeat, wins the IC championship from Shawn Michaels. Marty Jannetty re-debuts and wins the Intercontinental Championship. Holy shit.
Well,
what's going on here tonight?
I know. That's
what is going
crazy.
on here?
It's a crazy episode. That finish though bugs me.
It was a cheap finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Again.
Perfect almost missed throwing the towel in his face.
Well, it's funny. So yeah, the towel's kind of flying through the air, and Sean has to like grab it and rub it on his face and like stumble backwards.
Yeah.
So you definitely saw that.
Yeah, and then the finish definitely takes away from Jannetty.
Yes.
So
yes.
Jannetty doesn't win it. It's like a fluke victory. A feel-good return and everything, but I don't think you necessarily buy into, Jannetty is, oh my God, he beat Shawn Michaels. It's
So here's what I
got
would
a
have
cheap
done.
win.
Yeah, here's what I would have done. With the fact in mind that this was an awesome match, still holds up, really, really solid. I would have done it to where same thing right up until the kick. Have Sean pin him on the kick, and the crowd be like, "Oh, that's Sean's moment right there."
Yeah.
When all the momentum on Marty Jannetty's side, back against the wall, just got beat up by Mr. Perfect last week, like blindsided the past few interactions we've seen him. For Sean to get that solid pin right there over a fan favorite in Marty Jannetty, that's his moment. That's where it's damn right I'm the Intercontinental Champion. That's the moment Sean needs still. So the fact that they kind of drop the ball on that and just do the feel-good, oh, Marty Jannetty's the new IC champion, it's bittersweet because that's not what they needed right there.
So you're saying you would rather have Michaels win?
Clean, super kick, pin.
Wow.
To just completely deflate the crowd.
I mean, that
That's
probably
what they need.
ruins Jannetty.
Yeah, but so what?
Yeah,
So what?
You can't trust the guy, so
Right.
why invest in him?
Look at the match. Well, let's compare. What did Marty Jannetty leave us with? Fucking nothing.
Right.
He left us with nothing. Bring him back. Let him get Sean over.
So they
send him on his way.
Yeah, they definitely did this just to add that appeal of Raw. Like, unexpected.
Yes, the unpredictability.
The
Which
whole
is
show.
fine. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think they could have benefited much more if they had gone the other route. I think. Sean really needs that.
Because if Sean overcomes that challenge of not knowing he's there,
exactly,
he's going to be even more hated. It's like, oh, this guy won't fucking lose.
Yes. Yeah. And he finally gets that clean win that he needs.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to have the first title change on Raw.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why Perfect would necessarily want Michaels to lose it.
Because he would want to win the belt.
Right. That seems like the whole point of the feud here.
Yeah.
Is that he wants to kind of maybe win the belt. But
yeah.
A pretty solid match. Good match.
Holds up.
One of the better ones that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. As for the whole episode, I mean, this is this is the best episode of Raw thus far.
My favorite thus far.
Every segment serves a purpose. You got debuting guys. Just good
shocks.
Good shot. Yeah.
Solid
the return,
action.
Debuts, action. Mm-hmm. The enhancement matches are definitely enhancing the talents that need to be enhanced.
Completely.
So, I mean, for a 45-minute episode, take the time to watch it.
Yes, go out of your way to watch it for the fact that it's one of the most iconic Raw moments when Kid beats Ramon. Watch it for the fucking tag team finish of the backdrop into the pile driver. Was like, oh my God. Again, that's the first time I've ever seen that done. There's just so many different things to watch this episode of Raw for. It was, like Bob said, the best episode we've seen thus far out of the 17 Raws we've watched. I can't say enough good about this Raw. I wish wrestling on TV was still like this today. Unfortunately, it's not. But they used every second of this 45 minutes to I think the best of their ability.
For sure. And I think it's safe to say that this week and last week is the best back-to-back episodes of Raw.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been a while since we've said that because I know there was definitely a 2-week stretch that we covered.
I think it was like in February.
Yeah, where it was like, wow, those were 2 back-to-back really solid Raws. These Raws blow those out of the water.
Surpasses it.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So, again, yes, please go out of your way to watch this episode of
And
Raw,
I think it should be noted that both of these both of those episodes were live. So I really think that plays a huge part in the atmosphere and the viewing experience.
Yeah, completely. The only thing I kind of was bummed about is that we needed this action between Sean and Marty 4 months ago.
Well, yeah, they always wait. It seems like they wait way too long for those feuds to really
Yeah.
mean much. Because at this point, it's going on what? January of 92 when the guy turned, or late 91, I guess, when it's taped, and now we're in May of 93.
So it's kind of like, really, is the heat still there kind of thing? It
Right.
is still there, but...
I mean, it'll probably always be there because it's a really memorable, turn.
But it could have been... Imagine this being the build-up to WrestleMania 9.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Imagine a match they could have at WrestleMania 9 if Marty was clear-headed and this is the kind of heat they had to
I
work
would have
with.
taken that over Tatanka. And
Completely.
Tatanka's my guy.
Oh, completely.
But I
Completely.
would much prefer that.
And you still do the Sherry thing and whatever.
Sure.
You can mix
tie
that
it in there. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it made me wish, that was the only drawback. It made me wish that we got this months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we close out, any last comments or anything, I just want to point out that Mike Campbell did send us something. And you can too, though. Remember, icopodcast@gmail.com or on the IcoPod Facebook page. You can just send us your thoughts on anything wrestling related. So we're in episode 20 here. So if you have comments from episode 4, send them along. We'll just
It's never too late.
It's never too late. We could be 4 years into this, and if you're just starting the journey with us,
let us know.
Let us know. We'll be like, oh, this is what this guy thought about in '93, and sparks discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from Mike Campbell. He goes, the events of that Raw was the talk of the school bus in the playground on Tuesday, May 18th. It was probably the first episode of Raw that was considered must-see. When Vince made the statement that anything can happen in WWF, you believed it. Since I didn't have cable at this time and wouldn't again until late 96, I only had word of mouth and clips on Superstars until about a year later when Coliseum Video released Monday Night Raw Prime Cuts. To this day, if you ask any wrestling fan about the barbershop window, they'll probably tell you about the Rockers breakup. Sean had a serious heel heat for it because the Rockers had always been such a popular tag team, so it was awesome to see that Marty was able to get one over on him, since it was rare to see that sort of thing happen. Tito didn't get one over on Martel, that's true. Aside from pulling the top rope down during the Battle Royal at Cops Coliseum, Sean liked to say that he carried the team, and my friends and I would always say that it was Marty that carried it. And with this result, we got to claim that we were right. The Razor and Kid result was shocking at the time. Even as kids, you know how it goes. The generic-looking guy that was already in the ring when Fink started the intros was going to lose. Dwayne Gill wasn't beating Tatanka. Gary Saba wasn't beating Crush. And the Kid wasn't beating Razor, just like he didn't beat Mr. Hughes or Doink. When I finally saw the match, the thing that always stuck out to me was that Kid's knee caught Razor in the head. And with Razor hitting the post, you could believe that Razor's bell was wrung from it. I noticed that as well on the moonsault part.
Yeah, when we were going through it. Those are all wicked good, comments from Mike Campbell. Very good points that it is kind of Jannetty's chance to get one up over Sean. Again, I think it's a little late for that, but it's so funny that there was a Team Marty and a Team Sean between children, and I'm sure there was. To whereas, who was the better guy?
Well, I kind of maybe think that Marty, at one point, was the better worker than Sean in the Rockers.
I think I would argue all the way up until maybe now, by 94 he's done. But I would say through them being together up until this year, 93, Jannetty is the stronger of the two. When he's clean and clear-headed. Yes.
I think the definitive moment when Sean probably leapfrogs him forever is WrestleMania 10.
Yes.
And then moving
That's
forward
it.
from there, it's like not even...
He doesn't look
not
back.
even close.
That's what it is.
Because it's like Michaels evolves, and then Jannetty just kind of stays the same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I had written a couple of articles on, like, being the Marty Jannetty of a tag team. Because it has this, like, negative connotation.
It does.
But the thing is like, Marty has been, or, is, or was, he was an accomplished wrestler.
Yes.
This proves it here. He's an Intercontinental champion. And sure, he did have his demons and whatnot, his issues, but it's not like he was a bad worker.
No.
You look at like the Legion of Doom.
Right.
Right. So who would you consider the Shawn Michaels of that tag team?
Hawk.
Right. That's how I would take it too. And then Animal would be
Jannetty.
Money Incorporated. Who's the Marty?
Marty's going to be obviously IRS.
Right.
Yeah.
More modern, like Eminem. John Morrison and Joey Mercury.
Right. So Johnny Nitro is going to be Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very rare that there's tag teams that are both Shawn Michaels.
I
But
don't-
each time, like, each one of those things, they're accomplished wrestlers. Like, Animal is accomplished, but, like, Hawk was always the guy getting pushed. Like,
I
even
think
in
it's a
singles,
charisma thing.
it might be.
I think it's a charisma thing.
You might be right, because the more modern one, like, I don't know why I went Eminem, but that's just the first thing. That's
It's
not even
relatively
modern. That's not even
modern,
modern.
yeah.
That's 12 years ago, or 13 years ago.
Well, what would you say for Cesaro and Sheamus?
In terms of like work rate and stuff, Cesaro's the Shawn,
Exactly.
and Sheamus would be the Marty.
Exactly.
But in terms of accomplishments, Sheamus would be the Shawn, and
Right.
Cesaro would be the Marty.
Right.
So it's weird.
Yeah. I think that's more or less tied to charisma, especially because somebody recently compared the Young Bucks to the Rockers, and I was like, okay, they're relatively the same person. So Matt and Nick Jackson are very similar, but I would still be able to distinguish that probably Matt Jackson is going to be the Shawn Michaels because he's more charismatic. So I don't know. I think it comes down to a charisma thing. To whereas Marty Jannetty, sure, he's the underdog. He's likable. He doesn't have the charisma that Shawn Michaels does. And Shawn Michaels isn't even a good promo. And I'd still say he's more charismatic than Marty Jannetty.
Well, yeah. And the thing with Shawn though is he has a character. Marty doesn't have a character. Marty's just Marty.
He's just Marty.
He's just a guy
Right.
that wrestles. Shawn is like this egotistical, self-centered person, so he's naturally going to develop that.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other tag teams that would be.
I can't put it this way.
Harlem Heat, like Stevie Ray and Booker T. Like Booker T's
completely.
the Shawn.
Completely. I could put it this way. I can't think of one tag team where there is no discernible Shawn over a Marty. I can't think of one.
I remember one where it changed. America's Most Wanted in TNA.
Okay.
It was originally like Chris Harris was
Right.
the Shawn,
Right.
and James Storm was Marty.
Right.
But then that was like 03, 04. And then by like 07, 08, it's like Storm is the Shawn and Harris is the Jannetty.
Right. Yeah, see, I wouldn't know that, but
Yeah, because you don't watch. I mean, you shouldn't have either at the time. But like the Dudley Boys, like Bubba's probably the Shawn and Devon's the Marty.
Completely. Okay, so who would you say about the Hardy Boys?
Oh, Jeff's the Shawn.
That's what I think too, but
And
now I
Matt's
feel
the
like it's changed.
Jannetty. No.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Matt Hardy's character is pretty much dead. To me. It's not that enjoyable. Jeff, even, okay, the whole, it's ridiculous with that, with Matt Hardy. I feel so bad for the guy. Because forever, he was always in Jeff's shadow.
Yes.
And, you know, he gets this huge character, this delete character or whatever, and it's very well for him in TNA and stuff like that. But I just remember back in the Attitude Era, like Matt would start the match off, crowd doesn't fucking care. And then he tags in Jeff and like, yeah, Jeff. And then Jeff would tag out and be back to Matt and be like, nah.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Like every time. And Matt Hardy's a guy who, you know, version 1,
Yeah.
when he went to SmackDown
Yeah.
and that character and now what he's done on like the Edge and Edge stuff
Yeah.
in 05. So he's definitely an accomplished guy. you
Yeah, I
know,
guess
and,
you're right.
and he won the world title with Impact Wrestling or whatever. But in terms of popularity and stuff like that, I mean, I guess he's more charismatic now.
Oh,
Because
completely.
Jeff never really needed a character. He was
You're
always,
right. He was
this
just
guy
Jeff
does
Hardy.
he does a swanton bomb.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
He dives off ladders.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like I said, I can't think of one team where it's like they're equals. Who do you choose? Who do you
Like
pick?
the Steiner brothers, like Sean would be Scott,
For sure.
Rick would be Marty.
For sure.
There's got to be an example of it.
The only one I'm thinking of is maybe the Hollywood Blondes. But I think even the Blondes at the time, you'd say...
Austin was the Sean.
Really? Oh, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that. At
Oh,
the
yeah.
time? No, I
Yeah.
would say Brian's the Sean.
No.
Really?
Well, because what are you basing off of? Like
Uh,
accomplishments or in ring or everything?
well, I would just say that at the time, Brian was more charismatic than Steve Austin, I think. As the Hollywood Blondes?
I don't know, man. That's a toss up.
I mean, of course, down the road, of course, Stone Cold is
No,
definitely
but,
the
right.
Shawn
But if you're
Michaels.
thinking strictly,
Yeah, as a team.
'93,
Right, as a
Hollywood
team.
Blondes.
Yeah. I'm saying Brian's the Shawn. I think.
I think Austin. I mean, Brian's the high flyer and probably more.
The talker.
I think Austin's a better talker then.
Do you even then?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I'm just thinking about the flair with the gold and like Austin trying to be.
Yeah, but it's Pillman who's carrying that segment. Acting.
Is it
Flair.
Pillman that comes out? No, because isn't there one where Austin's like Arn Anderson too or something? I don't know. I mean, my perception of it, even watching it a few years ago when I was reviewing it, Austin always came across as the biggest thing. But that's just the way WCW presented him.
Well, right. Yeah, I mean, going back to our conversation though, I can't think of one team. I don't know.
That's gonna bug me because I bet you as soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna be like, all these guys.
Well, what about Miz and John Morrison?
That's tough.
I would say Miz is the Shawn out of those two.
Yeah, but at the time you would have said John Morrison.
At the time, yes. I probably would have said, John Morrison.
So that's another one that had changed.
Yeah.
So like, is there a tag team where it just
they were just
stayed
equal. They were just equal.
like it never was like, oh, Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
No.
Shawn's the Shawn and Diesel's the Diesel.
Yeah.
Diesel's the Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about Scott Hall and Kevin Nash?
Ugh, I don't know if there is one.
I'd just say they were equal.
Yeah.
There you go. There's one.
Yeah, that might be.
I'd say they were pretty equal.
Yeah.
I don't think there was one breakout over the other.
Okay, like the Nasty. Well, okay, it's like the Nasty Boys. To me, Brian Knobbs would be Shawn Michaels.
Completely.
And Jerry Saggs would be Marty.
Completely.
Fuck. God damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm like just trying to think in my head real quick.
Okay, head
like,
shrinkers.
Oh, well, Fatu.
Obviously.
Shawn.
Yeah.
Smoking Guns, Billy.
Completely.
This is Shawn. Marty will be the Marty.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll get to that more as they're around more often.
What about Owen and Bulldog?
Oof. Well, I mean, Owen would be a Shawn.
You think so?
Yeah, because if you're listening to everything like charisma and accomplishments and everything like that.
I don't know if I can agree with that. I want to agree with it, but I don't know.
You think Bulldog would be
I
considered
think Bulldogs
Shawn?
are considered the Shawn.
No, because by the time they were teaming, like Bulldog was kind of on the last legs there.
Yeah, well, and
ring
Owen
was.
was the driving force.
Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking Shawn.
Yeah, well, maybe.
How about the Godwins? Phineas
say-
and Henry.
I would say Phineas is probably the Shawn.
Is there a Shawn in that team?
Well,
I mean, if you had to choose, probably Phineas.
he goes on to be Naked Midian.
Oh, brother.
Isn't it Phineas who does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Quebecers? Pierre's my Shawn.
Yeah, Killer Bees.
Brunzel,
Gotta be.
I think.
Oh, because what does Brian Blair do?
Right. He's like a governor or something for Florida now. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's hard. We'd have to think about that and come back to these guys with something. I can't.
I'm just going to get a headache from
I
this.
can't think of one. I can't think of one other than Hall and Nash, where it was equally beneficial and they both went on to.
And the thing is, though, those guys, I don't even know how much that really counts because they weren't tag team guys. They were singles guys who formed
a team.
Who formed a team.
Well, it would be okay. So easy. Another easy one. Edge and Christian. Edge is the Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Yeah. Christian would be the Marty.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough.
Wow. All right. Well, anybody else out there? Maybe you.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know
If you can
because
think of
I'm trying to
one.
rattle my brain
Yeah,
here.
I don't even know.
Heart Foundation, Brett Neidhart.
Completely.
Brett's the Shawn.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a little fun tidbit there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Send your suggestions on that one to either icopodcast@gmail.com or icopod on Facebook.
And I'm sure there's teams out there. We're just drawing blanks right now, guys. Help us out. Send us along. Hold our hand. Lead us to victory.
Carlito and Chris Masters. That's an equal.
Yeah.
Like, no, nothing changed there.
Right. I can't believe you just pulled that one out.
I'm literally trying to think of all the years. Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas.
I would say Shelton's the Shawn.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I would too. Yeah, I don't know. Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo.
Billy Gunn
Billy, yeah.
is the Shawn.
Damn it. Just trying to figure something out. All right. So we definitely rattled off on that little tidbit there for a little tangent there. You got anything else here for episode 20?
No, I just would like to reiterate. This Ross was so good. I can't even talk, man.
I know.
Go watch this. Go find it on the network. Steal it if you have to.
No, well.
We didn't say that.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that from IcoPod.
Nope.
But go out of your way. Watch this one. It's worth it. It's a quick 45 minutes. I only had a couple pages of notes on this one. That's how much I was enjoying it. Like, I tuned in. You know what I mean? Wasn't doing a lot of pausing, how I usually do. So, yeah, just go back and watch this one.
It usually ends up that when we enjoy them, our talk is shorter. And then when we hate them, we're like, let's ramble about it for hours.
Yeah, because it was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, Austin, if you don't got anything else, I don't have anything else. You pretty much summed it up pretty well right there. So, for Austin Skinner, I am Bob Allen Jr., and you've been listening to IcoPod.
You gotta hear it.